Uh-oh. Concord is still having a hard time, can barely get 200 players to log in and play the game. This game's in a lot of trouble. Where's that modern audience? Where they at? Because this is the game that we've been told over and over again that modern players want. They want this kind of game. They eat it up. They're waiting for it. They're hungry for it. Well, I guess not, because they're not showing up for it. In fact, it's so bad that people can't find matches, which, should be obvious considering the player count. But if there's a few matches going, you don't have enough people that are still waiting for one. So I guess if you're on PC, you're getting pushed into PlayStation lobbies. So console players have to be moved in, and, they're lucky that there's crossplay in this game. Because if there wasn't, they would have a hard time. But even with crossplay, the combination, so this gives us an idea of how well it's selling on PlayStation, because there's a cope going around that it's actually doing well on PlayStation. But even with crossplay, people are having a hard time getting matches. I'm not kidding. People are really saying that it's actually a massive hit on PlayStation. Cope, Suffa, haters, it's actually doing really well. And everybody is going to have egg in their face when this just dominates the PSN network or some shit. Sorry, that's not happening. This really doesn't look promising. Concord PC players are having a hard time finding matches thanks to ridiculously low player counts. Oh, no. Oh, no, bros. Oh, no, modern bros. What are we doing? They're going to have to go free to play. They need to go free to play. Without it, their game is dead because nobody is willing to spend the $40. No one wants to play the $40. So here are the quotes. PC players have reported that long queue times are very much a problem for those not queuing alongside console players. Just waited 8 minutes for matchmaking, and then it timed out, one player says. I love the game and want to play it. Unfortunately, I can't wait 8 minutes plus between games, so I decided to play something else and come back on peak hours. What are the peak hours? 200 players? What is that? 276 peak. That's it. And that's not going to hold. It's just going to keep getting worse because you launched at almost 700, and now you're down to a 24-hour peak of 276. I mean, on Saturday night, the biggest day of gaming, I would think, because a lot of people don't work on Saturday. I know some people do, but a lot of people just have that day off. You would think that it would peak there, but no, 473, and that's during the launch. So it's just losing players left and right. This number is going to keep going down till, I bet you next month there's less than 100 people playing this, which means it's going to die even quicker unless it goes free to play. Because, I mean, how long will you have to wait to find a match? So here's some more. I've had some pretty long wait times on Concord over the last weekend. I got to play about 7 minutes before I found a game. This isn't awful, and I've played plenty of other games that have similarly long queues. But the difference is that I'm not sure Concord is worth the wait. The game is quite fun, if a little chaotic, but they aren't outstanding, which is probably why players are finding the $40 price tag hard to stomach. Why would you pay that for this game when all of the competition is free? That's actually a very fair point. It's a fair point. But even if this game goes free to play, let's say it does, and I think it will. In fact, I guarantee you the game is going to go free to play. They don't have a choice. They have to find a way to make some money because they've lost. I bet you they've lost at least $100 million on this game. And that's being generous. They're going to have to go free to play. How long that takes to happen, I don't know. They're going to have to figure something out because the people that did pay the $40 for this game are going to be pissed. I've played a few games, and while I enjoy some of the heroes like Hamar and Daw, some of the matches feel indistinguishable, and the maps seem too big for their own good. You spend a lot of time walking around looking for fights, and when you find one, everyone's abilities blend into a big chaotic ball of damage. There's more to Concord than just the fights, as the cosmetics are quite cool, but that doesn't mean it's worth the price tag. Criticism over the upfront cost appeared the moment it was announced, and some players still think the answer is to go free to play. This game won't last the month. They can't wait. Something like this could bolster numbers, although there wasn't massive interest around the free beta either. And that's also a really good point. The free beta didn't even have 3,000 people. It was somewhere in the 2,000s. I don't remember the exact number. But that ain't shit. That's pathetic. And it was free. Free. So you couldn't even get people to show up when it was free. But I'm going to tell you this. 3,000 is better than 163. At least the 3,000 people that are playing will get into matches faster. So I guess they can walk around in a big area. Wow, I didn't know the maps were huge like this. That's not good for a hero shooter. They need to funnel everybody into fights. It's just walking around, not doing anything. That sounds boring. Especially after you wait 8 minutes, 7 to 8 minutes for a match, if you even get in, because you got people saying they're getting timed out. Even if the free-to-play route could help the dwindling player numbers, there's still a good chunk of the player base that doesn't want Firewalk Studios to make the shift to free-to-play. Free-to-play is super predatory and lives off kids' parents' credit cards, one player says. Concord costs $40 and everything post-launch is free. There won't be battle passes, and every additional map and hero is free. Well, that ain't going to cut it anymore. This game's going to go the Suicide Squad route, if that's true, and they're just going to cut the game off. Suicide Squad was supposed to get updates for a long time, and that's not happening. That game's going the way of the dodo as well. And I would imagine that this game will too, unless it goes free to play. They're going to have to. They don't have a choice. They have no choice. So maybe the people that paid that $40 get free shit forever, and then everybody coming in on the free to play model has to pay for the additional heroes and maps. I think you do something like that, but you're going to need to do something. So, that is the draw for some people, but it wasn't enough. Like, hey, it's $40 and everything is post-launch. Everything post-launch is free. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. So, yeah, the people that are still hanging around this game, I think eventually, just like that one person that got quoted in here, is eventually going to have to move on. And they're end up going to play the competitions games. What a shame. I guess that modern audience, I guess they don't really game. They're too busy shipping the characters to play the game. They're too busy going through the characters and figuring out who the character would have sex with than actually sit down and play the game. I guess you're trying to appeal to the wrong kind of gamers, Sony PlayStation. It's really funny to me how much they've changed since they've moved to California. Because remember, PlayStation headquarters used to be in Japan. Then they moved to North America, specifically California, and just look at what's happened to them. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.